Hello traders, how are you? Welcome to the live stream. Welcome back to Simply Forex. Hope you're all well. Hope you're having a lovely trading day. We've got some big news coming out in about 26 minutes. And I apologize for being late, but guess whose fault it was? Yes, it was the editor's. It's always the editor's fault. It was his tech. He always has poor tech. That comment would hurt him. He prides himself on his tech. So yeah, we're going to take a look at the news. We've got the news coming out. We've also got my other screen blaring for some reason. So yeah, we're going to take a look at the news when that comes out, guys. We're going to look at the trades that I took today. I got stopped out of one trade, and I'm currently in Euro US dollar sells. We'll take a quick look at them. And also, guys, obviously, we'll take as many of your questions as we can, right? So, yeah, please ask as many questions as you like about anything to do with trading. Don't be shy. Come say hello. Leave a question. Let's see who's in the house. First of all, I just saw a funny comment there. So Colin, how are you, mate? So yeah, Euro pound. We'll take a look at that, guys. That was the trade that I just got stopped out of. Michael, how are you? Brett, Carlos, Syed, CJ, Tom. I have crippling market depression at the moment. The music bangs though. Okay, crippling market depression, CJ. We don't want this. I know what you mean though, right? The markets are pretty much untradeable at the moment, right? Everything is just flying off. We're getting these crazy trends. Like if I just close my eyes, right, and randomly pick one, there we go. Randomly picked oil, right? That, you know, oil is crazy trending, right? It's so oversold, right? It's difficult to trade that kind of trend. Let's do another one, right? Let me close my eyes again. This is great fun. Just do the whole show my eyes closed. Bitcoin, we don't do Bitcoin. What are the chances? Right, this one, New Zealand Swiss franc. Look at that. How do you trade that? Answers on a postcard, right? If I don't get a retrace and a trend like this, it's difficult to trade that, all right? I mentioned it in the vid earlier on. So I hear you, CJ. Yeah, the markets are difficult to trade at the moment. They're just super trending, right? So basically the environment is you're going to be sitting on these hands, not these hands, not actually my hands. That would be weird. But you're going to be sitting on your own hands or somebody else's hands. I don't know. But yeah, guys, and that is a skill in itself, right? Just sitting on your hands. You know, having said that, I took Euro pound earlier on, and we'll take a look at that. And I'm also in Euro US dollar as well. All right, so let's start there. New to the show, which is very exciting, the editor has put on some topics that we can talk about, right? If so, Biden takes a break. Is it just me or is it getting hot? Deep fakes and AI. So let's not talk about deep fakes and AI, but we can talk about the other two later on as well. I said to the editor, you choose the topics, you know, let's just go for it. Let's have some fun with it. And he's picked a load of topics I know nothing about. I'm only joking. Let's start with the trades, right? So Euro pound, guys. I really like this on the H4, right? And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me if my trade is successful or unsuccessful, right? Let me validate me just saying that. But what the only thing I can, you know, focus on is me trading my system, right? My price action system. That's all I can do. And if I do that, there is no such thing as a bad trade, just an unsuccessful trade. Now, if we look at the day chart on Euro pound, right, we're clearly in a downtrend, right? We've got bullish candles, and I thought we had a little bit more, had a little bit more room to move into, right? As it happens, we've had a very bullish reaction. On the H4, again, just following price action. Yeah, it was in a H4 downtrend. price came back to this level, and I just loved this level. All right, and I started selling in here with a view to taking price back down to here. And as you can see, well, my stop was up here and I got stopped out. I just put my stop above the last swing high. So I traded exactly as per my strategy, right? But it was unsuccessful. So be it, right? Now, I've done exactly the same thing with Euro US dollar. So remember everything I've just told you. Yeah, if we start with the day chart, we are in a downtrend, right? We was in this uptrend, but price has broken down. So we're in a downtrend. I think we have a little bit more room to move into to the next area of support. I am conscious that we're at the moving average 20, but we are in a downtrend, right? I go to the H4 chart and we are in a H4 downtrend, right? And we're nice and close to the moving average 20. I actually entered here, right? My stop is above here. And the idea is to come back down to these lows, if not further. And that is an identical trade to Euro Pound, right? So again, whether this trade is successful or not, I have traded my system. And that's all you can do, right? Don't beat yourself up for having a bad trade. Don't congratulate yourself too much for having a good trade. But what you must congratulate yourself with is sticking to your plan. That's when you deserve a pat on the back. I had to visually do that, right? That's when you deserve a pat on the back, guys. When you just follow that plan and rinse and repeat every day. That's all I do, right? Again, there's no secret sauce, no magic. I just rinse and repeat the same thing every day with my system, following price action, and over time, my system will be profitable, okay? Because I've proved that to myself in the past, and it will continue to be profitable in the future, right? So it's as simple as that, guys, right? So that's the two trades that I took today. Right, for Pello, how are you? Daniel, how are you? Thoughts on pound US dollar? Okay, Brett, we'll take a look at that. Carlos, what's the best way to get back after some time off? Okay, interesting question. Okay, so let's answer that question first. So Carlos has got a question here. So Carlos has had a break, right, from trading. I think Father Sunglasses had a break as well, right? So what's the best way to get back after some time off? So the thing you mustn't do is, sort of rush back into it and be keen to trade, right? You've almost got to get up to speed with the markets, right? You just have to get yourself back in gradually. But when I say up to speed with the market, remember, I like it all slow, dull, and boring. So it shouldn't take too much time just to get back into the flow, right? And even if after a break, even if you just come back and, took like a demo trade almost. So you look at the charts and you're like, right, I would like sells from this area today. Let's see how this trade plays out, right? And see if you're seeing the market right? You haven't got to jump back in and start, trading straight away. Just get into the feel of the market again and just get back into your routine. That's the thing I always find. Even if I have a couple of weeks off on holiday or, go home for Christmas or whatever it is, it's just getting back into the work mentality, right? This is your job, right? So it's just a case of getting your mindset right as well. So take it easy with the trading. You don't have to rush into things, even just sort of watch a couple of trades play out. And then just get back into your routine and your mentality of working. Yeah, just sort of do what you did before. You know what it's like, guys. If you have a couple of weeks off on holiday, your first day back at work, you don't even know your name. You're like, where's my desk? What's my name? What is my job? Right? Yeah. So no different with trading, guys. Okay. Okay, so some people still looking for euro pound sells. All right, but let's have a look at pound US dollar. Please bear in mind, guys, right? In about 15 minutes, yeah, we've got GDP figures coming out, right? We've got, yeah, all of these, got these GDP figures here, right? We've also got durable goods and some employment data, initial jobless claims, continuing jobless claims, right? We've got a lot of data coming out in 15 minutes, right? So for me, guys, you know, we need to see that play out. I am in euro US dollar, but I will, you know, tighten my stop. Okay. But pound, I like for sells. Yeah, I still think pound US dollar has room to the downside. All right. Obviously, news permitting. Yeah, because pound US dollar for me is in a downtrend. Yeah, and this is where we're at. And I still think we have a little bit more room down to this 2860. I would even say 2850, right? So back down to here, we've still got some more room with pound US dollar. All right, because once we start hitting moving average 20 and these highs, that could be a good buying area, right? So, but we still have a little bit more room. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that. But I think pound US dollar is a sell. And just look at the H4, right? Again, H4, right, is in a downtrend. This is where we're at. We're clearly in a downtrend. We're below the moving average 20, right? Lots of things to like about selling pound US dollar. It just so happens I am in euro US dollar sells. So yeah, I think that would be a good trade, Brett. But obviously we've got news. So if you are in an open trade, guys, and you've got news coming out, you probably want to tighten your stop, reduce your risk, because price can go anywhere, right? So let's see. So Arnu has got some euro US dollar sells in. Marcus Mark. Hi, Tom. I know you use hedging instead of stop losses, but if you were to use stop losses, what do you base your stop losses on, the last high or low, or a fixed pip amount? What are the pros and cons of each? Right. Good question, Marcus, right? Now, first of all, never, I can't say never, right? But I would never have my stop loss at a fixed pip amount, right? I mean, what is that based on? Yeah, let's just say every stop for me is 30 pips, right? It means absolutely nothing because you're not reading the chart, right? So, you know, if I entered, let's say I entered here on the break, right? And then we go up 30 pips, right? Stopped out, okay? This was actually a mistake I made, right? So any stop, let me phrase this correctly. I'm like, but any stop loss has to be based on levels on the chart. Never a pip amount, right? Never. Unless you have a very mechanical, indicator-based mechanical strategy that requires just 10 pips, 10 pips, 10 pips, and you've back tested it and there's the data supports what you're doing, then okay, right? But a price action strategy, which your strategy should be based on, you have to put it above the highs or lows, right? So, you know, if we come down like this, okay, so if we started entering in here, I actually did this. This was a mistake I made, right? Now, you've got a few options here. You've got the moving average 20, which acts as dynamic resistance. You can put your stop above here, the moving average 20, right? But you would have got stopped out. But again, if you enter here for sells, what you should really do and always do, guys, really, is put your stop above the last high. And at this point, these are the last highs. So you put your stop loss here. So whatever time frame you trade, your stop loss goes below the swing high or swing low. Like no ifs or buts for me, right? So if you're in a downtrend, okay, and you start, selling here, right, your stop goes above here, right? If you're in an uptrend, right, and you start buying here, your stop loss goes below the last low. Okay, and this could be H1, H4, etc. Sometimes what I'll do is have a H4 entry, but a H1 stop loss if I'm tightening my stop loss. But let's not overcomplicate things, right? You put your stop loss above or below the last swing high or the last swing low, depending if you're buying or selling. All right, so simple as that, Marcus. So yeah, hope that helps. Yeah, never a fixed pip amount because it doesn't mean anything. You're not reading the chart. You're just, you may as well pick 50 pips. It doesn't, it's irrelevant. Arnu agrees. Right, what else we got here? Hey, Tom, was it not against you on it? So Peter, yeah, so the simple moving average is what I use, and I agree with you, right? Well, I'm aware of it, shall we say, right? So Peter's saying with the euro US dollar sell trade, yeah, the moving average 20 is acting as dynamic support here. Now, when I mentioned it earlier, I'm fully aware of that moving average 20, okay? But I think this trade has a bit more room to hit before this support level. Look how price has reacted at this level in the past, right? This gray zone. So I think there's a little bit more room down to this level, okay? And what I also did was look at the weekly chart. And the weekly chart says we have a bit more room too, right? The moving average 20 is down here. So I think we have a bit more room into here. But this is going to be quite news-led, right? We'll see what happens in the news. But yeah, good point, Peter. I agree with your point. But there was enough factors that there was enough reasons to enter the trade. And that was probably only one of the reasons not to enter the trade, right? So pros outweighed the cons. What else are we looking at, guys? Daniel, Tom, if H1 structure breaks structure and closes above or below support, sometimes if I make the decision on taking that pair, sometimes you stop out. Where's your take on this? If I make the decision on taking that pair, I use to stop out. I don't know what your question is there, Daniel, to be quite honest. So maybe just restructure that question and let me know. And Marcus, highs and lows aren't infallible. So putting your stop loss above or below a swing high or a swing low, right? Of course, they're not infallible, right? But what you are doing is giving your trade a chance of success. Yeah, that's all we can do. All we can do as a trader is put the probability in our favor. And, just looking at the euro US dollar H4, right? All I can do is put this in my favor, right? So as you know, I'm in this trade, right? About here, selling. All I can do is put my stop loss above here, right? So my stop loss is here. We're above the last swing high, right? And also we're above the moving average 20 at this point. So this is well hidden. Yeah, that's how I think of a stop loss. Where can I hide it? I don't want buyers. Yeah, think of it like that, right? I don't want buyers finding my stop loss. Yeah, so where can I hide it? And my stop loss here is hidden. I mean, you could argue if you want it really well hidden, put it up here, right? Because there is a bit of, support and therefore resistance here. All right, so yeah, I'm actually going to do a vid, guys, in the VIP Trading Academy about stop loss placement. I've got it in my diary. I'm going to do one. And also, guys, if I could just ask everyone, if you're enjoying my analysis, the live stream, then please subscribe to the channel. Also, smash that notification button, and then also, please, everyone, please smash the like button right now while I have a drink of neat vodka. Okay. All right, guys. So we've got another question here about euro pound. So Kist, am I pronouncing that correctly? Probably not. Hello, Tom. More on euro pound. Can we? Okay, is it a good level to start selling euro pound, or is it a change of trend? All right, good question, right? And this is a good price action question. Now, if we go to the day chart, right, the only time I am not interested in selling euro pound is when we have a break of daily structure, right? So let's take this today's candle away, right? Now, I am in, so euro pound is in a downtrend, and this is where we're at, okay? I thought it had a little bit more room. It panned out that it didn't, okay? Now, this is clearly in a downtrend. And the only thing I'm looking for in euro pound is sells because of that reason. The only time my opinion will change of euro pound sells, I'm not saying I will sell it every time it's in a downtrend. I need to see other factors, but daily trend is my guiding light, my North Star, my leader. I couldn't think of anything better to say. But if it breaks this level, that all changes. As if we get a break of that level, I am then interested in buying euro pound, because at this point, that is the only time daily structure changes. As soon as we get higher highs, we're in an uptrend. Until that point, euro pound is still a sell. Okay, if we go back to real time now, it will be interesting to see how price reacts at this level, because you've also got the moving average 20 coming down, right? So it'll be interesting to see how we react in here. But if we got a nice, bearish candle, something like this, I'm still interested in selling euro pound because it's in a downtrend. Okay, Kiss. So the only time I will change my mind is if daily direction, daily trend changes. Okay. I'm not, I only use H4, right? Which is clearly a structure break. Yeah, as soon as it's broke here, and H1 as entry time frames, right? I don't use, I also want them to be with trend, etc., and at nice levels of support and resistance. But that day chart is king for me. But good question, Kist. Greg, how are you, mate? Right, we've got lots of questions today, guys. I love it. We probably won't have time to talk about Joe Biden. What a shame, right? I swear the editor was just trying to tuck me up today and say, Tom, yeah, you talk about Joe Biden. You don't want to know what I think about Joe Biden. Okay, I'm going to tell you quickly. I think they wind him up, right, and then just chuck him in front of the TV, and he's got about 5 minutes before he conks out. Right, as soon as that wound up and that battery conks out, he's like, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you've got about 5 minutes, and then he starts just mumbling nonsense. Whether he's a good president or not, the American people will tell you that, but he is not good in front of a camera or public speaking, and because I'm not ageist, right, but he's about the same well, I think he's the same age as my dad. Yeah. And I can't imagine my dad running the UK very well, right? Or any country, you know? So, Dad, you know, I'm sure you do a good job. So yeah, don't let your dad in charge of a country. You want young blood coming in, right? That's how I see it. I'm on one now. And also, that debate between Trump and Biden. Have you ever seen anything like it? Like, it's like, is that the best you've got? Like, that's worrying. Like, out of, you've got how many, about 130 million, is it, in the States? And they're the best two, right? You need to start looking for some new politicians, some young blood. So yeah, there you go. There's my couple of pence on Biden. Syed's got a question, right? How do you analyze the market in minimum time? So, I've been doing this a long oh, right. Christ, we've had news come out. Okay. So this is the direction we were looking for, guys. Right. So we'll look at the news in a minute, but and I will take your question in a second, Syed, as well. But just to, if we play Guess the News game, I know you're all a big fan of Guess the News game. It's enthralling, right? We have to suggest that the US data was better than expected, right? So far, we are getting US dollar strength, right? But it's literally just come out. And then if we look at pound US dollar, yeah, that's hit target. I mean, that was the target I was looking at with pound US dollar. New Zealand US dollar. Okay, we're getting a bit of a bounce up there. Let's have a look at Aussie dollar, US dollar. So generally speaking, a bit of US dollar strength there. So let's have a look at the news now. I'm going to suggest the majority of the news was better than expected. Yeah, there you go, guys. Better than expected. Is that correct? I don't think that is. Better than expected, a lot worse than expected, right? But the big one is GDP. And look at that, guys. That is far better than expected, right? From 2% to 2.8%. That's like almost like a 50% gain, right? That's huge. This one a little bit worse than expected, and these figures are clearly wrong. Yeah, they're coming in now. There you go. That figure's more like it. I thought they had no people claiming unemployment. That would be a first, right? So yeah, generally better than expected, this US dollar news. But it's not being reflected just yet in price. This is the one I care about, guys. Euro US dollar. I'm going to push my alarm down to here. Yeah, all right. We'll come back to this. Yeah, I'm in sales. I just want to take some profit back down at these lows. Right, back to Syed's question. Before I take Syed's question, guys, if you would like to join our trading community and speak to like-minded traders, yeah, you can have a chat, you can discuss trade ideas, whatever you like, right? Please come join our free Discord channel. We have a lovely little community, right? If you would like more than that, guys, you would like my trade signals, you would like access to my strategies and my tutorials, and you would like direct access to me, then please come join the VIP Trading Academy. And right now, if you sign up with one of our preferred brokers, you can get discounts or even free access to some of these things. All right, so check it all out. It's all in the video description. I'm sure the editor is putting some links up as well. If he's not, it's going to get fired in the morning. I'm only joking. Laughing at my own jokes. Syed asked, how do you analyze the market like in minimum time? Well, firstly, I've been doing this a long time, right? So I can look at a chart pretty quickly and know if I have a trade, right? So let's do this. This is what I do every morning, right? So I'm going to randomly pick a pair. Right, what have we got? CAD yen. And I always start on the day chart, right? This will take me 2 seconds. Yeah. Downtrend, so overbought, right? No value, no trade. Simple as that, right? Then I'll go on to the next one. Let's randomly pick another one. New Zealand US dollar, right? We're in a downtrend. We're in a downtrend. We're very overbought. We're literally at support, so there's no room to move into, no trade, right? Next one. NAS 100, right? This one had potential, actually. This is like my grade B setups. But I would consider this. We look at the weekly chart. Yeah, weekly's coming down, very bearish. We potentially have a bit of room to move into this level. Okay, so weekly looks good for selling, potentially a little bit more room. If we look at the day chart, the only thing that was putting me off this pair, right? Okay, but let me just carry on. This is how I think, right? We're in a downtrend. Yeah, tick. We're a little bit oversold, but we have a very nice bearish candle. Okay, there is this level through here I'm conscious of. Yeah, there's this resistance and support here, but potentially this has potential. Potentially this has potential. Potentially this is a trade. And then all I do in my little diary, I use a note. I'm old school. I use a notebook and pen. I will just put NAS sells, right? And then you can see, I will then put that in my book. I will give you these trade ideas, yeah, as part of my daily vid that I put out every morning. And then the next thing I do is set up my alarms, right? And as you can see, this is my alarm on the NASDAQ. I needed a retrace before it came down. Why did I pick here? If we look at the H4, you know, I was basically saying if price retraces to here, that's pretty much where the moving average 20 will be at that point. And as you can see, we just haven't had a retrace. So I don't have a trade. So NASDAQ, for those reasons, I spend more time on and I have a trade, right? Let's look at another one. I preferred the S&P. That's why I put the S&P out this morning, right? Let's, right, NASDAQ again. What's going on here? Let's pick anyone, right? Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. This was a tricky one, right? Because this was, you know, if you class that as a last low, that was in a downtrend and we had a nice bearish candle. Again, you can see my alarm here, which means I was considering selling this one, right? For those reasons, right? We're in a downtrend, we've retraced, we've got a nice bearish candle. So the problem, a couple of things that didn't make this a A1 top-notch setup is, firstly, we're above the moving average 20, and look how price is reacting at that level. And also the weekly, right? If we look at the weekly chart, you can see that we have clearly broken this key resistance level. That looks like a continuation of trend to me. Maybe it retraces first, but it's a continuation of trend. So the weekly put me off of this trade, okay? However, on the H4, you can see I've put my alarm here. I'd even move it up to here because that's potentially a nice H4 setup, right? We're in a downtrend, price retraces up into here somewhere. You can clearly see there's support there. In here is interesting. It doesn't mean I will take the trade, but when my alarms go off, you know, I spring into action like Bruce Lee and Steven Seagal and, you know, see if I like the trade, right? You know, see what other things are doing, how the market's behaving and see if I like the trade. Simple as that. So we'll keep an eye on this Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. And then, you know, just pick another one. There you go. Right. GBP, Aussie dollar. Again, I always start on the day chart, right? Clearly an uptrend, overbought, absolutely no value up here, no trade. Let's look at the next pair. Simple as that, guys. That's what I do every morning. I look at 28 currency pairs. I look at a few indices. I look at a couple of commodities. And that's it, guys. Yeah. And it normally takes me about 45 minutes, something like that. Not even. Some days, like today was one of those days where you're like, nope, 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 nope. Yeah, it can be quicker. Some days you have to spend a bit more time, right? But yeah, that's what I do every morning. Again, guys, in the VIP Trading Academy, I have a tutorial on this. It's called the Daily Filter and what I look at to filter my trades, right? Because I look at 28 currency pairs, but when I apply my filter, I normally end up with 1, 2, 3, 4 potential trades, right? And then I just focus on them for the day. Right, who else is in the house? Aya, how are you? Skelts, how are you, mate? Mike F, how are you? Daniel, Tom, what is the best time to take a break of structure after the candle closes? Is it to wait for the third candle confirm, or can I take a decision on the next candle after the break of structure? Marcus, I'd also talk about ATR. So it's a good question, right? So let's pick something that had a break of structure. Right, let's look at this one. I just wanted to go back in time and find one. Right, let's get rid of some of these old support and resistance levels, just so you can see a little bit more clearly. Right, let's get rid of some of these. So let's imagine, right? So this is the day chart, right? But this could be H4, H1, anything. It's the same principle, right? Now, let's say, as you know, we're in an uptrend. Let's say that, okay? But as soon as we break this low, right, we're in a downtrend, even these lows, okay? And that happens with this candle, right? Now, the body of that candle, that's important, breaks the lows of these candles and these candles. So at this very candle, price has gone from an uptrend to a downtrend. We're now getting lower, if you know, all that. It needs to break this level, right? You're now getting lower lows, lower highs. We're in a downtrend. Now, can I just start selling here? Yes, is the answer, but it all depends on your target and stop loss, right? So this would be my target down here, right? Down here, okay? And my stop loss, right? Let's just imagine, you know, this is the chart we trade on. I know I don't trade on the daily chart, but let's just imagine for this scenario, right? I would probably look at the last high as being in here, right? So really, I want to put my stop loss above here. Give it a little bit of room, right? Let's go there. Now, you need to ask yourself, if I start selling here, yeah, what is my reward? What is my risk? Okay, let's get the ruler up, right? So our risk is 185 pips. Our reward is 144 pips, right? So it doesn't make sense quite, you know, doesn't make sense in terms of risk to reward, right? So you got two options, right? You can wait for a retrace, okay, so that the risk to reward makes sense. Okay, there's your first option. Or you can partially enter. Yeah, maybe here you enter with 50%, right, of your normal trade size. And if we get a retrace, we can enter another 50%. So you have options and techniques. Again, there are numerous tutorials on this in the VIP Trading Academy, right? But you can do something like this, okay? And, you know, by doing 50 and 50, your risk to reward, you have an average price here, and then your risk to reward makes sense again. Even if you enter 50% here of your normal trade size, right, and price just shoots down, it's still a good outcome. All right, so let's imagine we're going to do 50-50. If we get a retrace to here, we'll enter another 50. Right, let's play it along. Right, to be quite honest with you guys, I would have taken profit by then, yeah. So you wouldn't have got the retrace, yeah, but your first 50% hit target, right? You're still a happy trader. Yeah, we didn't have an opportunity to enter the other 50%. All right, guys. So yeah, I hope that helps. Hope that gives you some ideas on how to trade. You need to, everything's a contradiction in trading. You need to be very rigid and very fluid at the same time. So good luck with that. And on that note, guys, we are going to call it a day. So guys, really enjoyed the live stream today. Thanks for all of your questions. Please don't forget, we do the live stream Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, same time, 8 a.m. New York EST time. So don't forget to join us on Tuesday. This is the last one for this week. Please come along with all of your questions. Really enjoyed them, and I'll see you next time, guys. See you later.